Hey darts fans, that's a strange way to get 99, but it demonstrates good line because the trebles on the sides of the boards are all lined up, so good line. You can get a lot of darts in those trebles. Hey, it's Timo Newman here, the transporter. Welcome to the good ship Undarted Waters. We are on level 4 of the Matthew Edgar Darts Master series. I hope you've been enjoying this. Just a reminder that even though I'm posting these videos sort of quite frequently at the moment to get through this series, they're there for your records, but some of these challenges might take some time to do. So as Matthew Edgar recommends, or actually insists on, don't go on to the next level till you've done the ones before, okay? As we go on, some of these are going to get really hard, and what I would say personally is that if you are really trying hard at a level for weeks and you can't do it, you might get a bit bored. So in that case, maybe have a look at the next level and practice the two in tandem, and it might just make your practice a bit more fun. Because if you really are stuck, it can get a bit rotten. Okay, so back to the bandages. Okay, level 4 is to hone our line, and I would say that this level today is a fair bit harder than the ones we've seen so far, so I've called it standard rather than beginner. Now in Matthew's original video, the tape that he uses is a bit wider than the one I'm using, so his tape would be pretty much across the bottom of this treble, so a bit less wide than the whole treble, okay? That's important because this challenge is all about hitting the tape. Alright, I've only got this thinner masking tape available, so I'm using this. It might mean that I do pretty bad at this when I demonstrate it, but that's just for demonstration purposes. So try and get masking tape, which is, I guess it would be something like an inch wide would be about right. And just put that masking tape right down the center of the board. Alternatively, if you don't have masking tape, you could cut a strip of paper an inch wide and just pin it down the board like this, okay? And here's the challenge. We need to get 10 darts into this tape. But here's how the scoring goes. In each turn of 3 darts, you have to get at least 1 dart into the tape. So if all 3 darts miss the tape, your score goes back to 0. It's one of those tough games where if you fail, you don't just go back a little bit, you go right back to 0. It makes this quite a tough game. There's a little reward though that Matthew Edgar puts in just to help us mere mortals, which is that if all 3 of your darts go in the tape on a given go, you actually get a life. You get a life so that if on the next go, say all 3 miss, you can carry on. Your score doesn't go to 0 because you get that life. But you only get a life if all 3 darts go in the tape on a given go. So let's see how we do. Just to say, what I think is probably good, and Matthew didn't mention this in his video because his are quite concise, but what might be good practice is to have some of your turns going for the 20 region to try and hit the tape, some of them going for the bull region, and maybe some going for the region down here, because you don't want your line just to be good in one area of the board. You want it to be good everywhere. So when you're going for high scoring, you want your line to be good here, but if you're going for out shots, you may need your line to be good for double 3, or you may need your line to be good for the bull, or anywhere else for that matter. If you're going for double 16, of course, your line has to be pretty good, okay? So try to vary where you're aiming during this game. So I'll just do a demonstration. We'll see how we get on with the thinner tape. So my score is currently 0. I'm going to just start with the bull area. Wow. Hit a bull there, it's a bit of luck, because I thought my score was going to stay at 0. So my score is now 1, because I got 1 dart in the board there, in the bull. So I think I'll just stay on the bull for this next go. Okay, so my score's up to 3 now, okay? Let me go up to the 20s just to have a go. I'm going to aim probably around the treble area. Okay, so that last start was a flyer, but my score is now up to 5, okay? So let me now, just for the purposes of the demonstration, let me go down to the 3s. Well, let's say I'm having a bad day, or I'm just not feeling like it, and I'm going for the 3s, but my darts are spraying all over the place, and I missed the 3s completely. So even though my score was 5, it now goes back to 0, okay? Like I say, if you do get all 3 darts in the tape, you do get an extra life. I can't remember if that happened. I guess it did it on the first? No, I don't think it happened, no. So none of my 3 goes there, I got all 3 in, so I didn't have an extra life. So by missing down here, my score goes back to 0. So I hope that's pretty clear. Even though Matthew didn't mention this, if you fancy it after doing this, you could put the tape across and then play exactly the same game with range, where you have to score 10 with range and just have the tape going across. That would be also very, very good practice, okay? So I hope you got on well with that. Thank you everyone for your support. I've been getting some really interesting comments. I really appreciate that. Positive feedback is much appreciated as I try to develop this channel. A big shout out again to Matthew Edgar, a great guy, and honestly my own darting sort of joy really only came to be through his training videos, because when you're a beginner you don't really know what to practice. You can't just keep throwing at the 20s, that's really boring and also not very useful. So his structured 9 challenges really helped me so much. So check out the links below in the description for the Matthew Edgar YouTube channel and website and coaching services and so on. And I will see you next time with level 5, which is the last level of sanity, and after that, boy, it's going to get really quite tough, but that's really where some of the real persistence is needed to up our game a few notches. So, as always, 3 darts at the Oki. I wish you all the best, my friends. I hope you're having a decent day, and I'll see you next time.